Welcome back, Queens. Today, I wanted to talk about a topic that I am super passionate about and that I believe every single woman, every person on the planet can actually learn. It's something that is a learnt skill that a lot of people get this wrong and think that people are born with it. And that thing is self-belief. The confidence that you see people have hasn't come overnight. So I want to talk in this episode about how to really harness your queen energy and how to build self-belief and confidence in yourself so you can walk around with your crown on proudly and really oozing all of the potential and queen energy that you have inside of yourself. So my first point that I want to make is it's a choice. You get to choose to either use your potential and really shine or to hold yourself back. And we live in a society where we are conditioned to hold ourselves back, especially in Australia, the tall poppy syndrome of, don't be proud of yourself. Don't be too successful. Don't be too out there. Don't be too loud and proud, and don't shine too brightly because, it's going to look arrogant. You'll look egotistical instead of being proud for what you have and owning it. Right? I think there's also a very toxic school of thought around not feeling worthy to be seen or not wanting to be seen fully in your truth and in your power because of how that would impact someone else. Instead of realizing that you in your power can inspire so many other people. And if anyone is offended by that, it says more about them than it does about you. Right? If you are not feeling worthy of being seen or heard online or on social media or in small settings, how is that manifesting in other areas of your life? If you can't be seen in those areas, then how is that going to show up when you need to speak your truth in front of your family or to your partner or to your kids? This is really having the confidence and the belief in yourself to back what you know is true for you. It is a choice, and it's something that is just so needed in this society. You don't know who you're going to impact and who you're going to inspire by doing that. And it's a skill, like I mentioned before, that's built, right? So action dissolves doubt. In the doing, when you're in the doing, you are building self-belief and confidence. You're proving to yourself that you can do it. So it's no different to riding a bike or learning to read and write, or, the saying of the 10,000 hour rule. It takes 10,000 hours to master any skill set. For example, when you did learn to read and write, you learnt to, my son's doing this at the moment. He's learning how to write each letter, and he's, very slowly going around the lines in this coloring in book we have, and he's very slowly getting better every single time. He can't write the whole alphabet. He can't write any other words than his name right now, but it's not deterring him because he doesn't have the expectation to learn overnight. I think as adults, we forget that, and we just feel we're a little bit almost, I can't believe I'm going to say this, given I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and neither of them have a lot of patience. But as adults, we almost have less patience, and we look at people that have belief and confidence in themselves, and we're like, oh, well, they must have got there overnight. They must just be naturally extroverted or, know how to do that. And it's like, no, they just had the patience to master that skill set. Right? Confidence is a learned skill. And if you've read Mindset by Carol Dweck, you'll know that it takes a growth mind to build any skill and to overcome anything. And confidence is no different. And if you haven't read the book, I'll pop it in the show notes. It's an incredibly powerful book. The next point is practice over rehearsal. So when you practice something, the intention is that you're doing it over and over. You're being consistent to get better every time, versus rehearsal. When you rehearse something, the intention is that it's going to be the same every single time you do it, right? Two very different intentions. So set the intention that every time you do something that you want to build confidence in, you get better at it every single time, even if that's small increments. I learned to properly swim as an adult. And I didn't have the expectation that I would know how to kick, master my strokes and breathe properly and do those cool tumble turns and dive in the pool all, within one swimming lesson. I didn't have that expectation. My goal was just to learn something and improve on one of those skills every single time I swam. So make sure that you have the intention of practicing versus rehearsing. The next thing is, oh my gosh, this is a big one. Comparisonitis. Like, do not compare to others. Not only is comparisonitis, it is what's that saying? Comparing is the thief of all joy, which I totally agree with. It is the thief of all joy. It also is the victim's excuse, right? Like, let's not beat around the bush here. If you are comparing to someone and making that the excuse of why you can't have confidence or you can't believe in yourself because, oh, well, they can do it because of who they are, blah, blah. That's just a very convenient excuse for you. So don't compare, because you often don't know the backstory or how much work has gone into that person being where they are, or, you just don't know the full picture. So nothing good comes from comparing yourself to others. You already have every single thing that you need right now. You have everything that you need inside of you. So don't compare, and also don't put someone else's opinion on a pedestal. When you do that, you are valuing their opinion over your own. And if anyone listening has done any feminine embodiment work or read Pussy by Mama Regina Thomas Hewer, or done or Untamed by Glennon Doyle, all fabulous books and schools of thought around women already having the inner knowing. You already know the answer. If you give yourself the space and trust yourself and trust your intuition, you know the answer to the question or the problem or the challenge that you are having right now. So instead of comparing yourself or putting someone else's opinion on a pedestal, ask yourself what your queen would do. If you were in your highest state, like in your ultimate queen self, what would she do, right? Not WWJD, what would Jesus do? WWYQD, what would your queen do, right? That believing in yourself is trusting yourself. It's trusting your intuition, and it's the inner knowing that you have the answer. Why would you? I said this to my team the other day. Someone asked my opinion on something that I could tell she had the answer and she already knew. And I was like, why do you care what I think? Why is my opinion of worth to you when no one can know more than what you do on what the right decision is and what your truth is? Like, I really want you guys to sit with how powerful you are and how strong feminine intuition is. You already know the answer. Which brings me to my fourth point on being the person you need to be to do things from the energy of your highest self to have the results you want to have. If you really want to build belief, yes, it's done in the doing. Yes, it's done by consistency and practice over rehearsal and asking yourself, to be guided by your intuition. All of those things work even better if you can be the person you need to be to have the results you want as much as possible. And this is not realistic to be 24/7 in this energy at the beginning, right? But as you get better at embodying this energy and visualizing, what would your queen energy do? What would your highest version of yourself do? If you want to be a millionaire, or you want to be super successful in business, or you want to be an Olympian, whatever it is, what would that version of yourself do in any situation? Whether it was that they got rejected, or, shit hit the fan, or like in bad times, what would your queen do? Also in good times, how would they respond to certain situations? If they had a win, would they celebrate themselves instead of just like gliding by it and not really truly celebrating themselves for what they've achieved? So part of my journey, I really visualized what my higher self would be doing, who she was, how she acted, what energy she was in, what she looked like, who she hung out with, all of that. I got so clear on it. I'm going to do a visualization for you guys in the next episode as well, so you can really tap into this and visualize what your highest version of yourself is. And I got so clear that I started to embody it. And, I will never forget hitting a rank and getting to quite an awesome place in my business. And I had a few people say, oh, like, congratulations, well done. I thought you were already there. And I was like, yeah, well, in my mind, I was like, I've been here for 6 months already. So it was so interesting. And I was really proud of getting that feedback from so many people, because I was already embodying that person, that level of leader, that level of woman that I knew I had to be to have the results that I wanted to have. So embody that. You guys already have it inside of you, right? So I'm going to do a meditation so you can really get specific and tap into that. But before we move on to the next episode, I want to just leave you with one more thing around what beliefs you allow into your mind. So if you have doubt in your mind and you're saying, I don't believe in myself, or I don't have confidence, or why would I succeed? I've never succeeded in anything before, blah, blah, blah. Your mind will find evidence for whatever question you ask. Your mind will find evidence to support it. So if you find evidence to say, why would I be successful? I've always failed. It is like typing into Google, hey, Google, search for evidence that I will fail. And 11 million results come up, right? Because that's what you searched. Instead of, hey, Google, search for evidence as to why I will succeed. Your mind will come up with the same results, the same amount of results for all the evidence of why you will succeed. So why would you ask a question that you don't want the answer for? You don't want the answer to, right? When I started this business, I came from 5 years in network marketing, traditional network marketing, and I put my all into that, and I'm a smart, savvy woman, and I still didn't get to the point of where I wanted to be in my business. I didn't, which was to replace my income. And, I had some success, but not to the level that I wanted. So when I started my current business, online business, I didn't have any evidence that I would succeed. In fact, you could argue that I had a lot of evidence that I wouldn't succeed, right? However, instead of focusing on 5 years worth of evidence that if I did something similar, I would get the same results, I didn't. I looked at the differences, and I looked at the person that I am, that I was that day that I was starting, and everything that I had grown to be. I looked at the belief that I had in the business model, in myself, in, every other aspect of it. And I didn't focus on any lack of success. I focused on the sales I had made in the past, and the way that I had shown up, and the way that I had built really beautiful connections and relationships. I focused on all the positives and told myself that all of these things combined is why I will be successful, why it's inevitable that I will be successful. So whatever you focus on, your mind will find, right? So ask the right questions, ask questions that you want the response to, that you want the answer to. So I'm really excited to take you through this meditation next around building self-belief, building your confidence, and embodying your queen energy. So you can walk around in this energy and attract and be and do and have what she has in her life. So before we go on to that, one piece of homework I would love for you guys to do so that you can actually integrate this. I'm really big on, if you do a training or you listen to a podcast, or, you take the time to do something of value for you, how can you go and integrate it and actually embody it, right? And embodiment means you're actually being that person. You're not just like doing these actions and then you forget about it and you like go about your life? How can you actually embody it so it's part of who you are and how you act in your everyday life? So I'd love for you to think of 5 words that describe your ultimate queen energy. And what I mean by that is your highest version self, when you are in your scenario of what your ultimate goal is, your ultimate dream life, whatever you're, working for to achieve right now. What are 5 words you may use to describe that woman? You may not have them right now. You might need to do this meditation and then come back to this homework and write out those 5 words. But it's really important you have those words and then stick them everywhere in your house. Go crazy, put them on the mirrors, write in lipstick on your mirror in your bathroom, put it on the back of your shower door, put it on the fridge, make a background for your phone that has your best photo of yourself that makes you really super happy. I've got a photo of myself where I'm laughing so loud, my mouth is open wide. I look like one of those clowns where you put the ball in the mouth. And I've got these 5 words on my phone. So I might put a link to it in the show notes as well to give you an example. So put these 5 words on top of a photo and make it your background or your screensaver on your phone and put it everywhere in your house so that you can remind yourself on the daily how to tap into this feeling, which we're also going to go through in the meditation. So really excited to see this. I would love to be tagged in any photos or stories or shares that you do, sharing these 5 words so that I can help hold you accountable to actually doing this. So tag Jessica Zalams on Instagram if you're going to go and do this. And looking forward to seeing you in the next episode for the meditation on how to build your self-belief and tap into your queen energy.